Hey, folks. Good evening. Welcome to our 7:30. I'm going to go ahead and mute some stuff and make sure I don't have a lot of sound going. Bear with us as we're getting settled in and jump up and around. If you want to grab a seat on the Mama.
What? Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Apple Chris.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And if you'd like to have a seat on the couch or.
Yeah, have a seat.
Mm-hmm.
We have people here tonight. All right.
So here we are.
How was the week?
The week was a week. It was kind of full. It started off on Monday with Phil. So we lost Phil this week. He gave up Monday morning. So we took care of that and kind of spent the day doing that. So,
well, thankfully we had a neighbor that had a tractor that had a digger
backhoe
on it.
Yep.
So that helped a lot with digging the hole.
It did. It did. And it's a hard lesson to learn. 17 months of working with that animal and, he's growing. He was a great boy.
He would have been good
great breeding stock.
Yep, he was a great animal.
And if we decided to put him in the freezer, he was big. So it's big loss.
Mm-hmm.
Big loss. Yeah. But on that note, we delivered animals on Tuesday. We took Jill, Nick, and Parker to a farm about 2.5 hours north of us. So
Ken had a big sweet spot for Phil too. No, he was a good ram.
Yeah, he was
really good.
Not as good as Claude, who now has a limp, but
he's got. Well, I tried to work on his hoof for 2 days. He doesn't like me touching it.
No.
And it's difficult when I can't get him in the stand and just have him.
He's too big for the stand.
Yeah.
He's too big for any of the things that we have. So we actually have to kind of lay him down, try to keep him calm.
Yeah. But I did figure out what it was. It looks like he's got something on the top of his hoof.
Yeah.
Like an infection instead of on the bottom. But I trimmed his hooves anyway. That might help. And
we moved both him and Jericho up here, so they're closer to the house, easier to keep an eye on them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing something happened when he was, because I had them in the woods working new paddocks out there, and who knows, could have got anything.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday we did some harvesting of the peppers, so we added another 10 pounds of the spicy peppers and another 2.5 pounds of the pepperoncinis.
And they're still growing like crazy out there. Anybody needs peppers, let us know.
Spicy peppers. The pepperoncinis are not hot though.
No.
They got a nice taste to them.
I'm used to them being hot out of the jar or whatever.
And Wednesday we also got to go to a friend's baptism.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was someone who came to us
about a month
ago,
yeah,
and we just talked at the kitchen table for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And then a month later, he's like,
"Yep."
Well, he told us then he wanted to be baptized, and it was a month later.
Yep.
So it was amazing.
So we got to go to that. That was a good time. And then prepping cabins. We have we have a friend here visiting. And we have another family who they had
a house fire.
Yeah.
I saw that earlier this week on Facebook, and I'm like, I've got this cabin. It's empty. let me see what I can do to get it cleaned up and filled with things. So I spent Thursday, I think, doing that.
Yeah, you started it Thursday
and finished it Friday. Yep. So yes, I'm grateful for the opportunity to help on that one because they're really close by.
And Yah gets all the glory for it. I mean,
yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
you know,
it's not
us.
me.
It's not. No. It's all him. It's all for his glory.
And the thing is, Wednesday I saw the post and I was like, "Oh, I need to do something about that," and I didn't. And then it was Thursday. I saw it again. I'm like, Ken, I'm gonna message them and see if they need a space because God wouldn't let me let it go.
Right.
So it was.
We'll do that.
It was him that told me to do it.
Yes. And yesterday I started doing another ministry video, so hopefully that will continue. But again, it's all up to the Father, and if He continues to push me in that direction, I will continue those. It's a big stepping out, but it's all good. It's all good. I think this week I don't think this week we have a whole lot of stuff going on. I know we have a chicken processing coming up this Friday.
I'm going to a thing on Tuesday.
Taking a little class.
Yep.
Get a little class.
I'm meeting with a couple different people this week. It might be busier for me this week than last week was for you. I don't know. They all seem to be busy though.
Yeah, they are. But that's pretty much it for the update. Oh, and we may be partnering. We might have found a home for some of the cabbage starts.
We're in discussions right now.
We're in discussion as a community effort.
Yes.
So we still have a bunch of trays. I did start getting rid of some of them because it's hard to keep up. You know, it's hot. We're losing a lot, so it's
cabbage worms started getting in. It's like they're so little, and I don't know how they even found them. But
it's a lot to manage.
Very much.
Okay, but now for the important part. So every Sunday at 7:30, we come here and visit with y'all, and we give you an update on the farm and the ministry, and then we get into the Word, and that's our favorite part of the week. It really is. But we did start doing
yesterday. Is that what you mean?
A
video call.
Yeah.
With some other Torah keepers.
Basically, it's a Sabbath study. So we get online with a couple other friends, and we're online for a good 2.5 hours, talking about Yah, talking about His Word, going through that, and just sharing with each other our week experiences. You know, what He's been showing us and what they've been just sharing. It's that community involvement. It's really good. It is really good. So yeah, that's always fun.
It is.
And we look forward to that. But here is my pen hitting the floor. But we share the Word, and we share the Word every Sunday, and we read from the NIV version. Just because it's an easier read, we do have multiple other versions, which have multiple other translations and different words.
Yesterday
I think we had
5 different versions up here. What does it say? What does this word say? Does it say Jesus? Does it say Joshua? What does it say?
That was an eye opener.
It was.
And that's a conversation for another day. How it's Joshua in one version and Jesus in another version, and yeah.
And what was the other one? Fear and reverence?
Yes.
Different versions saying fear and others saying reverence. It was pretty in
interesting.
depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
But
good.
it was good. It was good. So tonight we are still in First Samuel, and we are picking up at chapter 11. Now, the way we do it is, we read back and forth. Amy starts, and then if it's a long chapter and she needs to take a break, she'll pass it off to me. Unless there's a natural break, then I will pick up at that natural break. But before thank you. I was just reminded that Amy mentioned the family that were helping out at Cabin 3, and she updated our wish list on Amazon, and the updates are for them.
And it's just
for helping out those staying here with us, and it's things like soap and toilet paper and paper towels and,
just basics,
Yeah,
like
basics.
cleaning supplies and paper products. It's like when we can put them down in the laundry room and everybody can access whatever they need there. So, yeah, if you feel like you want to give, find that list and just
Yes.
get something for them.
I know there's people that do like to help and do want to help, and just a lot of people feel funny about sending money because you don't know where the money is going to go. But if you do want to help and you want to purchase something, it would get shipped directly here, and it would get
Thanks,
used
Bethany.
and appreciated.
We'd appreciate that. I mean, there's still some things hanging out there from almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
After Helene, so I didn't take them off, but for the most part, everything on there is like just for this family.
So, sorry for the interruption. Now we will get into chapter 11 in First Samuel.
In your Bible?
No, I
Okay, you got yours. All right, I figured you did, but I didn't. The chair's hiding it. All right. Okay, First Samuel, starting at chapter 11. Nahash the Ammonite went up and besieged Jabesh Gilead. And all the men of Jabesh said to him, "Make a treaty with us, and we will be subject to you." But Nahash the Ammonite replied, "I will make a treaty with you only on the condition that I gouge out the right eye of every one of you, and so bring disgrace on all Israel." The elders of Jabesh said to him, "Give us 7 days so we can send messengers throughout Israel. If no one comes to rescue us, we will surrender to you." When the messengers came to Gibeah of Saul and reported these terms to the people, they all wept aloud. Just then Saul was returning from the fields behind his oxen, and he asked, "What is wrong with these people? Why are they weeping?" Then they repeated to him what the men of Jabesh had said. When Saul heard their words, the Spirit of God came upon him in power, and he burned with anger. He took a pair of oxen, cut them into pieces, and sent the pieces by messengers throughout Israel, proclaiming, "This is what will be done to oxen of anyone who does not follow Saul and Samuel." Then the terror of the Lord fell on the people, and they turned out as one man. When Saul mustered them at Bezek, the men of Israel numbered 300,000, and the men of Judah 30,000. They told the messengers who had come, "Say to the men of Jabesh Gilead, by the time the sun is hot tomorrow, you will be delivered." When the messengers went and reported this to the men of Jabesh, they were elated. They said to the Ammonites, "Tomorrow we will surrender to you, and you can do to us whatever seems good to you." The next day, Saul separated his men into 3 divisions. During the last watch of the night, they broke into the camp of the Ammonites and slaughtered them until the heat of the day. Those who survived were scattered, so that no 2 of them were left together. The people then said to Samuel, "Who was it that asked, 'Shall Saul reign over us?' Bring these men to us, and we will put them to death." But Saul said, "No one shall be put to death today, for this day the Lord has rescued Israel." And Samuel said to the people, "Come, let us go to Gilgal, and there reaffirm the kingship." So all the people went to Gilgal and confirmed Saul as king in the presence of the Lord. There they sacrificed fellowship offerings before the Lord, and Saul and all the Israelites held a great celebration.
Chapter 12. Samuel said to Israel, I have listened to everything you said to me, and have set a king over you. Now you have a king as your leader. As for me, I am old and gray, and my sons are here with you. I have been your leader from my youth until this day. Here I stand. Testify against me in the presence of the Lord and his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Whose donkey have I taken? Whom have I cheated? Whom have I oppressed? From whose hand have I accepted a bribe to make me shut my eyes? If I have done any of these, I will make it right. You have not cheated or oppressed us, they replied. You have not taken anything from anyone's hand. Samuel said to them, The Lord is witness against you, and also his anointed is witness this day, that you have not found anything in my hand. He is witness, they said. Then Samuel said to the people, It is the Lord who appointed Moses and Aaron, and brought your forefathers up out of Egypt. Now then, stand here, because I am going to confront you with evidence before the Lord as to all righteous acts performed by the Lord for you and your fathers. After Jacob entered Egypt, they cried to the Lord for help, and the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, who brought your forefathers out of Egypt and settled them in this place. But they forgot the Lord their God. So he sold them into the hand of Sisera, the commander of the army of Hazor, and into the hands of the Philistines and the king of Moab, who fought against them. They cried out to the Lord and said, We have sinned, we have forsaken the Lord, and served the Baals and the Ashtorists. But now deliver us from the hands of our enemies, and we will serve you. Then the Lord sent Jerubbaal, Barak, Jephthah, and Samuel, and he delivered you from the hands of your enemies on every side, so that you lived securely. But when you saw that Nahash, king of the Ammonites, was moving against you, you said to me, No, we want a king to rule over us, even though the Lord your God was your king. Now here is the king you have chosen, the one you asked for. See, the Lord has set a king over you. If you fear the Lord and serve and obey him and do not rebel against his commands, and if both you and the king who reigns over you follow the Lord your God, good. But if you do not obey the Lord, and if you rebel against his commands, his hand will be against you as it was against your fathers. Now then, stand still and see this great thing the Lord is about to do before your eyes. Is it not wheat harvest now? I will call upon the Lord to send thunder and rain, and you will realize what an evil thing you did in the eyes of the Lord when you asked for a king. Then Samuel called upon the Lord, and that same day the Lord sent thunder and rain. So all the people stood in awe of the Lord and of Samuel. The people all said to Samuel, Pray to the Lord your God for your servants, so that we will not die, for we have added to all our other sins the evil of asking for a king. Do not be afraid, Samuel replied. You have done all this evil. Yet do not turn away from the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your hearts. Do not turn away after useless idols. They can do you no good, nor can they rescue you, because they are useless. For the sake of his great name, the Lord will not reject his people, because the Lord was pleased to make you his own. As for me, far be it from me that I should sin against the Lord by failing to pray for you. And I will teach you the way that is good and right. But be sure to fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things he has done for you. Yet If you persist in doing evil, both you and your king will be swept away.
Chapter 13. Saul was 30 years old when he became king, and he reigned over Israel 42 years. Saul chose 3,000 men from Israel. 2,000 were with him at Michmash and the hill country of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan at Gibeah in Benjamin. The rest of the men he sent back to their homes. Jonathan attacked the Philistine outpost at Geba, and the Philistines heard about it. Then Saul had the trumpet blown throughout the land and said, "Let the Hebrews hear." So all Israel heard the news. Saul has attacked the Philistine outpost, and now Israel has become a stench to the Philistines. And the people were summoned to join Saul at Gilgal. The Philistines assembled to fight Israel with 3,000 chariots, 6,000 charioteers, and soldiers as numerous as the sand on the seashore. They went up and camped at Michmash, east of Beth-aven. When the men of Israel saw that their situation was critical and that their army was hard-pressed, they hid in caves and thickets among the rocks, and in pits and cisterns. Some Hebrews even crossed the Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. Saul remained at Gilgal, and all the troops with him were quaking with fear. He waited 7 days, the time set by Samuel, but Samuel did not come to Gilgal, and Saul's men began to scatter. So he said, "Bring me the burnt offering and the fellowship offerings." And Saul offered up the burnt offering. Just as he finished making the offering, Samuel arrived, and Saul went out to greet him. "What have you done?" asked Samuel. Saul replied, "When I saw the men were scattering, and that you did not come at the set time, and that the Philistines were assembling at Michmash, I thought, now the Philistines will come down against me at Gilgal, and I have not sought the Lord's favor. So I felt compelled to offer the burnt offering." "You acted foolishly," Samuel said. "You have not kept the command the Lord your God gave you. If you had, he would have established your kingdom over Israel for all time. But now your kingdom will not endure. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart and appointed him leader of his people, because you have not kept the Lord's command." Then Samuel left Gilgal and went up to Gibeah and Benjamin, and Saul counted the men who were with him. They numbered about 600. I'm going to keep going.
Sure.
Saul and his son Jonathan and the men with them were staying in Gibeah in Benjamin, while the Philistines camped in Michmash. Raiding parties went out from the Philistine camp in 3 detachments. One turned towards Ophrah in the vicinity of Shaul, and the other towards Beth-horon, and the third towards the borderland overlooking the valley of Zeboim, facing the desert. Not a blacksmith could be found in the whole land of Israel, because Philistines had said, "Otherwise the Hebrews will make swords or spears." So all Israel went down to the Philistines to have their plowshares, mattocks, axes, and sickles sharpened. The price was 2/3 of a shekel for sharpening plowshares and mattocks, and 1/3 of a shekel for sharpening forks and axes, and for repointing goads. So on the day of the battle, not a soldier with Saul and Jonathan had a sword or spear in his hand. Only Saul and his son Jonathan had them.
Number 23.
Oh, it's there. Now a detachment of Philistines had gone out to the pass at Michmash. I didn't see it there. It was hanging out.
It is hanging out all by itself. Chapter 14. One day, Jonathan, son of Saul, said to the young man bearing his armor, "Come, let's go over to the Philistine outpost on the other side." But he did not tell his father. Saul was staying on the outskirts of Gibeah, under a pomegranate tree in Migron. With him were about 600 men, among whom was Asa, who was wearing an ephod. He was a son of Ichabod's brother Ahitub, son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the Lord's priest in Shiloh. No one was aware that Jonathan had left. On each side of the pass that Jonathan intended to cross to reach the Philistine outpost was a cliff. One was called Bozez, the other Seneh. One cliff stood to the north toward Michmash, the other towards the south toward Gibeah. Jonathan said to his young armor-bearer, "Come, let's go over to the outpost of the uncircumcised fellows. Perhaps the Lord will act in our behalf. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving, whether by many, or by few. Do all that you have in mind," his armor-bearer said. "Go ahead, I am with you, heart and soul." Jonathan said, "Come then, we will cross over toward the men and let them see us. If they say to us, 'Wait there until we come to you,' we will stay where we are and not go up to them. But if they say, 'Come up to us,' we will climb up, because that will be our sign that the Lord has given them into our hands." So both of them showed themselves to the Philistine outpost. "Look," said the Philistines, "the Hebrews are crawling out of the holes they were hiding in." The men of the outpost shouted to Jonathan and his armor-bearer, Come up to us, and we'll teach you a lesson." So Jonathan said to his armor-bearer, "Climb up after me. The Lord has given them into the hand of Israel." Jonathan climbed up using his hands and feet, with his armor-bearer right behind him. The Philistines fell before Jonathan, and his armor-bearer followed and killed behind him. In that first attack, Jonathan and his armor-bearer killed some 20 men in an area of about a half an acre.
Then panic struck the whole army, those in the camp and the field, and those in the outposts and raiding parties, and the ground shook. It was a panic sent by God. Saul's outlooks at Gibeah.
Lookouts.
What?
Lookouts.
What did I say?
Outlooks.
Okay. Saul's lookouts at Gibeah and Benjamin saw the army melting away in all directions. Then Saul said to the men who were with him, "Muster the forces and see who has left us." When they did, it was Jonathan and his armor-bearer who were not there. Saul said to, what did you say that? Asia? What did you say?
That's what I said.
Okay. "Bring the ark of God." At that time, it was with the Israelites. While Saul was talking to the priest, the tumult in the Philistine camp increased more and more. So Saul said to the priest, "Withdraw your hand." Then Saul and all his men assembled and went into the battle. They found the Philistines in total confusion, striking each other with their swords. Those Hebrews who had previously been with the Philistines and had gone up with them to their camp went over to the Israelites who were with Saul and Jonathan. When all the Israelites who had hidden in the hill country of Ephraim heard that the Philistines were on the run, they joined the battle in hot pursuit. So the Lord rescued Israel that day, and the battle moved on beyond Beth-aven.
Now the men of Israel were in distress that day, because Saul had bound the people under an oath, saying, "Cursed be any man who eats food before evening comes, before I have avenged myself on my enemies." So none of the troops tasted food. The entire army entered the woods, and there was honey on the ground. When they went into the woods, they saw the honey oozing out, yet no one put his hand to his mouth, because they feared the oath. But Jonathan had not heard that his father had bound the people with the oath. So he reached out the end of the staff. Now you got me laughing. And
Sorry.
He raised his hand to his mouth. Wait. But Jonathan had not heard that his father had bound the people with the oath. So he reached out the end of the staff that was in his hand and dipped it into the honeycomb. He raised his hand to his mouth, and his eyes brightened. Then one of the soldiers told him, "Your father bound the army under a strict oath, saying, 'Cursed be any man who eats food today.' That is why the men are faint." Jonathan said, "My father has made trouble for the country. See how my eyes brightened when I tasted a little of this honey? How much better would it have been if the men had eaten today some of the plunder they took from their enemies? Would not the slaughter of the Philistines have been even greater?" That day the Israelites had struck down the Philistines from Michmash to Aijalon. They were exhausted. They pounded on the plunder and, taking sheep, cattle, and calves, they butchered them on the ground and ate them together with the blood. Then someone said to Saul, "Look, the men are sinning against the Lord by eating meat that has blood in it." "You have broken faith," he said. "Roll a large stone over here at once." Then he said, "Go out among the men and tell them, 'Each of you bring me your cattle and sheep and slaughter them here and eat them. Do not sin against the Lord by eating meat with blood still in it.'" So everyone brought his ox that night and slaughtered it there. Then Saul built an altar to the Lord. It was the first time he had done this. Saul said, "Let's go down after the Philistines by night and plunder them till dawn, and let us not leave one of them alive." "Do whatever seems best to you," they replied. But the priest said, "Let us inquire of God here." So Saul asked God, "Shall I go down after the Philistines? Will you give them into Israel's hand?" But God did not answer him that day. Saul therefore said, "Come here, all you who are leaders of the army, and let us find out what sin has been committed today. As surely as the Lord who rescues Israel lives, even if it lies with my son Jonathan, he must die." But not one of the men said a word. Saul then said to the Israelites, "You stand over there. I and Jonathan, my son, will stand over here." "Do what seems best to you," the men replied. Then Saul prayed to the Lord, the God of Israel, "Give me the right answer." And Jonathan and Saul were taken by lot, and the men were cleared. Saul said, "Cast a lot between me and Jonathan, my son." And Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, "Tell me what you have done." So Jonathan told him, "I merely tasted a little honey with the end of my staff, and now I must die." Saul said, "May God deal with me, be it ever so severely, if you do not die, Jonathan." But the men said to Saul, "Should Jonathan die, he who has brought about this great deliverance in Israel? Never. As surely as the Lord lives, not a hair of his head will fall to the ground, for he did this today with God's help." So the men rescued Jonathan, and he was not put to death. Then Saul stopped pursuing the Philistines, and they withdrew to their own land. After Saul had assumed rule over Israel, he fought against their enemies on every side: Moab, the Ammonites, Edom, the kings of Zobah, and the Philistines. Wherever he turned, he inflicted punishment on them. He fought valiantly and defeated the Amalekites, delivering Israel from the hand of those who had plundered them.
Yeah.
Saul's sons were Jonathan, Ishvi, and Malchishua. The name of his older daughter was Merab, and that of the younger was Michal. His wife's name was Ahinoam, daughter of Ahimaaz. The name of the commander of Saul's army was Abner, son of Ner, and Ner was Saul's uncle. Saul's father was Kish, and Abner's father, Ner, were sons of Abel. All the days of Saul there was bitter war with the Philistines, and whenever Saul saw a mighty or brave man, he took him into his service. It's on names.
Chapter 15. Samuel said to Saul, I am the one the Lord sent to anoint you king over his people Israel. So listen now to the message from the Lord. This is what the Lord Almighty says. I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel when they waylaid him as they came up from Egypt. Now go attack the Amalekites and totally destroy everything that belongs to them. Do not spare them. Put to death men and women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys. So Saul summoned the men and mustered them at Telaim, 200,000 foot soldiers and 10,000 men from Judah. Saul went to the city of Amalek and set an ambush in the ravine. Then he said to the Kenites, Go away, leave the Amalekites so that I do not destroy you along with them, for you showed kindness to all the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites moved away from the Amalekites. Then Saul attacked the Amalekites all the way from Havilah to Shur, to the east of Egypt. He took Agag, king of the Amalekites, alive, and all his people he totally destroyed with the sword. But Saul and the army spared Agag, and the best of the sheep and cattle, the fat calves and the lambs, everything that was good. These were unwilling to destroy completely, but everything that was despised and weak they totally destroyed. Then the word of the Lord came to Samuel. I am grieved that I have made Saul king, because he has turned away from me and has not carried out my instructions. Samuel was troubled, and he cried out to the Lord all that night. Early in the morning Samuel got up and went to meet Saul, but he was told, Saul has gone to Carmel. There he set up a monument in his own honor and has turned and gone down to Gilgal. When Samuel reached him, Saul said, The Lord bless you. I have carried out the Lord's instructions. But Samuel said, What then is this bleating of sheep in my ears? What is this lowing of cattle I hear? Saul answered, The soldiers brought them from the Amalekites. They spared the best of the sheep and cattle to sacrifice to the Lord your God, but we totally destroyed the rest. Stop, Samuel said to Saul. Let me tell you what the Lord said to me last night. Tell me, Saul replied. Samuel said, Although you were once small in your own eyes, did you not become the head of the tribes of Israel? The Lord anointed you king over Israel, and he sent you on a mission, saying, Go and completely destroy those wicked people, the Amalekites. Make war on them until you have wiped them out. Why did you not obey the Lord? Why did you pounce on the plunder and do evil in the eyes of the Lord? But I did obey the Lord, Saul said. I went on the mission the Lord assigned me. I completely destroyed the Amalekites and brought back Agag, their king. The soldiers took sheep and cattle from the plunder, the best of what was devoted to God, in order to sacrifice them to the Lord your God at Gilgal. But Samuel replied, Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the voice of the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. For rebellion is like the sin of divination, and arrogance like the evil of idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected you as king. Then Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned. I have violated the Lord's command and your instructions. I was afraid of the people, and I gave in to them. Now I beg you, forgive my sin, and come back with me, so that I may worship the Lord. But Samuel said to him, I will not go back with you. You have rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you as king over Israel. As Samuel turned to leave, Saul caught hold of the hem of his robe, and it tore. Samuel said to him, The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today, and has given it to the one of your neighbors, to one better than you. He who is the glory of Israel does not lie or change his mind. for he is not a man that he should change his mind. Saul replied, I have sinned, but please honor me before the elders of my people and before Israel. Come back with me, so that I may worship the Lord your God. So Samuel went back to Saul, and Saul worshipped the Lord. Then Samuel said, Bring me Agag, king of the Amalekites. Agag came to him confidently, thinking, Surely the bitterness of death is past. But Samuel said, As your sword has made women childless, so will your mother be childless among women. And Samuel put Agag to death before the Lord at Gilgal. And Samuel left for Ramah, but Saul went up to his home in Gibeah of Saul. Until the day Samuel died, he did not go to see Saul again, though Samuel mourned for him. And the Lord was grieved that he had made Saul king over Israel.
Yeah, I think in 22 and 23 here where it says, Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as much as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Mm-hmm. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than that of the rams. For rebellion is like the sin of divination, and arrogance like the evil of idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected you as king. For rebellion is like the sin of divination, and arrogance like the evil of idolatry. We all know how much Yah hates idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so if you're arrogant in anything you're doing, it could be arrogance in, the presentation of even his word, or arrogance in, what our ministry is, or anything selfish like that. Not obeying his word or his leading of us. I know I got it a couple times out on the high town because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. So it is very important that we all heed Yah's word and do what he tells us to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight. Did you have something else you wanted to touch on?
No, but the excuses.
My men did it.
My men did it.
Yeah.
But it's all the good stuff that I'm going to give to you anyway. Mm-hmm. It's like, that was the good stuff from, it's not something you raised, and it's not anything that you've, put time and effort into. It's somebody else's that you were told to destroy. That was evil. Yes.
And you were told to destroy it. So it is better for you to destroy it than keep it, even if it is good.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, you could go back to Adam and Eve. Adam said, well, the woman you gave me the apple. And Eve said, well, it's the serpent. Saul said, it was my man.
Mm-hmm.
Always excuses.
Everybody's playing the blame game.
Everybody's got an excuse. Everybody's got an excuse. Cool. Hi, Lauren.
she's snuck in on there.
So yeah, well, thank you all for being here this evening. It's about 8:15 now. Yes, in obedience, we really do find freedom. Yes. And, so many people say that the law is bondage and blah, blah, blah. And no, it is freedom. It is a joy to serve. But yeah, I could go on. It's pizza night.
Pizza night with friends.
So we are literally going to be breaking bread.
Yes.
Yes. Again, if you're in the area and like to join us on a Sunday, we're here at 7:30, and well, that's when we start, but we're here usually all day. And usually it's dinner afterwards and whatever we might be having. But yeah, if you have prayer requests and want to send them, you could do it. Go into the description below, or you could leave a comment. We got our emails, we got our phone numbers, we got everything's right there. All you got to do is reach out. But if you're in the area at 7:30 on a Sunday, or even Sunday, or 7 o'clock on a Sunday,
yeah,
stop on by if you want. We'd love to have you. If not, thank you for joining us here. Keep us in your prayers. We really do, above all, cherish your prayers. We need them. We appreciate them, and just thank you.
Mm-hmm. We're praying for Bethany too. She goes back to work this week.
Yes. All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here, and we will see you next Sunday at 7:30. God bless.
Bye.